This show furnished by Karl Gerber and Employment Lawyers Group.
'Cause we're gonna be lawyers. Lawyers, money rolling in the bank.
Talk Radio 790 KBC. You're listening to the Karl Gerber Workplace Lawyer Show, and I am a real licensed California lawyer. On this rainy Sunday over Memorial Day, I hope you've got your house in order, because it's only 212 days to Christmas. I have literally spent all weekend in busy mall parking lots trying to find angry elk sweater vests and peppermint candies before they all run out.
Me too.
That's one of our guests, Dombass, the incompetent employment defense lawyer. Notwithstanding Dombass's larger than most people's presence, tonight we are going to bring you the best of things that are talk radio and not primetime network TV or the Game of Thrones. We're going to focus on the art of public speaking, since this is a lawyer show, miracle pills, the O.J. Simpson trial, as if anybody cares anymore, local politics, and the mayor. I apologize in advance for not bringing you Gloria Allred, who must appear on talk radio at least once every miracle pill cycle, but she's a competitor of mine. I am going to keep you in suspense between sponsored segments, shout-outs to sponsors, national commercials, and a lot of ahs, and ahs, and pauses, and not divulge the order of all these scintillating subject matters, but not Gloria Allred, will follow into your oral canals. First up, miracle pills.
Hey, I took one of them little Teal F-150 truck-shaped pills, last week. I couldn't even stand up in court.
Dombass, we're supposed to be plugging Dr. Zhivago, the licensed notary's miracle pills.
Plugged up? I don't need no pill for that. But I fly in on the airplane strapped to the seat, 'cause you complaining on account of all your legroom being stolen by somebody's pet iguana.
I've always found all the talk radio pill pushing unseemly. Let's move on to public speaking, since we're both lawyers.
Oh, one of them reasons I dropped the sales business over at Queen's Carpet for Myroon Alfombra, pronounced matting but spelled, how's he spelling it again? N-M-N?
No, it's Eminem.
Nah, I remember it's kind of funny, the letter that is supposed to go first. Then N goes before the M?
This is not three association. Scree times, I mean 3 letters, and you got it wrong.
It's important us trial lawyers have the right dictations.
Well, those dictationes, yes, you can listen to truly great public speakers like, who am I thinking? Fred Lyons, a truant officer with the Freds. Actually, he's a 3-time loser. God, I'm thirsty.
Oh, yeah. What did you say?
I said I'm thirsty with all this 3 association. I got thirsty when I 3 associate, and all those F's that sound like T's.
What's a free association? Is that like a condo association? Gee, someday I'd like to be in a condo association.
I think all you have to do is buy a condo.
Really?
Really? They'd even let you live on the 3rd floor.
Wow. Old Dombass on the 3rd floor. Maybe in back of the building where I've got the best view in the whole building of the inside contents of the garbage dumpster.
Sounds quite scenic.
What's that?
I think it's like when you're in the courtroom and you're looking around for ambience and all you can see is pressed wood and an abundance of laminated strips of plastic over MDF furniture.
Well, I wanted to be associated with a condo association 'cause then I could sue them for looking at me wrong. Some old bald guy blasting gangsta rap, stuff like that.
Ambition. So much ambition.
Hey, why isn't Gloria Allred gonna be here? Or her daughter? They could do their media appearance here, get everybody all excited about some celebrity that they're suing or representing and making us wonder what the case possibly be about on account of the statute of limit passing by.
Well, I could only book one big-time guest, and I chose the mayor.
Yeah? I'm not exactly big time. Poor old Dombass with the little office in the back of Nazuki's Nuru massage clinic in Tazana.
Reseda?
After that their show episode 54, where Nazuki came here, I can't get no parking space for a mile. Lots of men, perverts, women perverts, people perverts, and perverted AIs. They're taking all the parking spaces, trying to peer into those storefront windows on account of the massage rooms not having any more walls. Just painter's plastic separating them. Oh, yeah.
Things really have been taking off since that particular show.
No, I just can't stand up in court no more.
How long has that been going on?
About a week.
When did you take that little teal F-150 shaped pill?
About a week ago.
I thought you were going to tell us how your whole life turned around after you swallowed that single pill.
I can't even turn around.
Are you able to go into the office?
Why not? No problem there. What do they expect when I'm walking through all those plastic partitions, hearing all those noises, Sangai Cookie's oiled body gyrating?
This show isn't exactly going the way and turning out as I expected.
Are things turning round for you?
Well, I'm happy to report I've earned myself a Twitter name.
Oh, no way, Mr. Gerber. You go, baby Gerber.
How did you know that was my Twitter name?
I'm following you on Twitter.
Why?
On account of me used to work for Myron Alfumbra, pronounced, how is it, Fatting, but spelled, I'm not sure. It changed on account of me working for him in Queens. I follow him, and he follows the guy he does the tree plug trims for.
We should have said in the beginning, because I understand these talk audiences are very persnickety about not spoiling the whole show in the beginning, saying what we're going to talk about. We're going to also talk about Trump. If you voted for him, well, maybe you're illiterate. He is pretty popular with white males who haven't been to no fancy college. If you're not too good a reader, Trump is spelled Trex.
Hey, is he a dinosaur?
No, that isn't very polite, Dumas. The people who listen to this show, the longest, are 65 and older, besides Trex, said he's a very spry man. I suppose that means he's good at cheating on his wife. Do you really think she'd get all Slovakian and do the wild thing with him and mess up his plugs at the end?
Hey, she's from Slovenia.
We haven't seen much of her. Is she slow?
She's from Slovenia. They aren't slow there. Actually, I think they made Yugos around there when it was Yugoslavia. I got a ticket for holding up traffic when I had the Yugo.
Oh, I forgot. She's supposed to be really smart because she came to this country and learned a little English, plagiarized Michelle Obama's speech, had enough sense to get implants, and cluelessly wears strange outfits when going to foreign countries. But the people who came from Latin America, maybe Asia, and somewhere and anywhere they're not white, well, if they don't speak great English, well, hell, her husband thinks we better reform the immigration system so they can't get in.
Hey, I might be an immigrant.
I recall when you first appeared on the show, you had some weird story about your mother being a fine French woman, but I thought you came from the Empire State.
Yeah, I grew up in Brooklyn. The Bronx Zoo. That's why I'm an immigrant.
I think the correct term is you're a transplant.
No, I never got a hair transplant like TREX. That's why I don't have much left.
With the way we've been talking and mispronounced it and ragging on a woman and TREX, I don't know if the mayor will still show.
Hey, can I stick around and meet His Honor?
As long as you don't say anything. I'm already fearful he was listening to the show while waiting to come in.
Hey, it's not like I could think of anything to say to the mayor. I'll just sit here looking like a fat, stupid, bald, log lump of fat.
I only wish Dombass would be more honest when he's billing his clients.
Hey.
All right, guys, you're listening to Karl Gerber Workplace Lawyer Show. I'm not going to give out my phone number because you just call up right now and rag on us. But if you want to anyways, it's 877-525-0700 at the office for a real case. That's 877-525-0700. Karl Gerber, Talk Radio. We'll be back in a couple minutes. Talk Radio 790 KABC. You're listening to the Karl Gerber Workplace Lawyer Show. I'm Karl Gerber, and I'm a real workplace lawyer. And I must say, the mayor has just entered the room. He's sitting next to Dombass. I don't know how this is going to go.
Well, before we start, I want to thank you for having me on this show.
No, the honor is mine, Your Honor.
And the honor is mine.
I really am grateful we finally have such an important guest on this show.
You're too modest, Mr. Gerber. I must confess, I sometimes listen to this program.
I'm not sure you should have made that confession.
It's a quality show. I hope I could add something. It's an honor to be on your show.
Yes, it's an honor to have you.
And I'm glad to be here.
Can we stop with the honors and the compliments? It's making me feel weird. I'm married.
I, too, am married. Wow, it's been 10 years now.
I understand you were with your wife for some time before you got married.
Indeed.
And you have a daughter, right?
I do.
Enough of that background stuff. As you know, I'm a big fan of Los Angeles. God, just being with the mayor, I'm all giddy. In your opinion, for what it's worth, what do you consider the big problems to be in Los Angeles these days?
A lot of outsiders are concerned with the homeless problem. At present, I do not believe it is realistic to expect that there will not be residents who live in tents. Tents are readily available at a low price. They will be used by the transient population well into the future.
I've heard a number of commentators suggest that you couldn't realistically run for president because all TREX would have to do is show some pictures of the homeless crisis in Los Angeles, and, well, you know what would happen.
TREX? Who's that?
Since I have a Twitter name now, I assumed maybe I could refer to a certain individual by a Twitter name.
Well, we're all mature adults here. At least some of us. I don't believe in referring to people by derogatory nicknames.
Many employers agree and have policies against employees using nicknames in the workplace. Sometimes nicknames may offend based on religion, national origin, race, or be sexually harassing.
You asked me about the biggest problems confronting Los Angeles, and we touched on the homeless issue. But I have more to say.
Please continue.
The homeless problem is multifaceted. A certain portion of the population wishes to remain in the streets. This is why storage facilities are very important. These people don't have a place to store their belongings if they wish to go to a doctor or maybe a job interview.
Yeah, I once went to a city safety meeting, and the then city attorney explained many of the RV parkers are sex offenders who don't want to register. This concerns me because they're often parked outside of parks where I'm sure they're not supposed to be.
Well, since you're a labor lawyer, I'd like to discuss minimum wage and living wage ordinance.
Seems we're glossing over the RV encampments.
Well, I've heard you've taken issues with the city having separate minimum wage.
I have. I believe minimum wage should be a statewide rate. It is too confusing for employers to be responsible for separate city, county, state, special district, and special employer type minimum wages, not to mention the confusion it causes employees. Some employees actually believe that they're entitled to a higher minimum wage than they are, and they may complain or they have ill will towards an employer saying commerce, that isn't part of the city of Los Angeles, and they have a lower minimum wage.
Well, as the mayor, I try not to get involved in issues that don't involve the city.
Excuse me? Are you serious?
Yes, I am. It is important for the voters to understand my authority is limited to the city.
Correct me if I'm mistaken, but according to some late September of 2017 news reports, you were out of the city 112 days. I think that's 1 day gone out of every 3.
Now, that was a very long time ago.
Do you mean to say a child born September 29th, 2017 is quite aged, possibly ready for cremation?
You see, maybe we're not on the same page here. You're talking about a 1-year-old.
I recall you traveling around quite a bit, possibly making a presidential run back in those misinformed days when Mr. Avenatti was also considering a run.
My primary goal was to ensure the midterm elections went the right way for the country. Now that has happened in a manner best for this country. I'm entirely focused on the city.
Then presumably you're hopeful there will be a crackdown on all that weird developer bribing permit stuff that involved a certain councilman on a land use and planning commission.
I cannot comment on that. It is an ongoing FBI investigation.
As I understand things, the only clean developer representing the city or representing at city council meetings with Egden Weebus.
I'm afraid I'm not familiar with that developer.
Really? He was the one who got Remus Helms' worldwide distribution center approved in Fontana, notwithstanding its quite unusual phallic, that is, magnifying phallic design.
Well, I believe that distribution center is in Fontana. As you know, I serve a different city.
True, and I feel weird about mentioning that fact in front of Your Honor.
It's okay. I was familiar with the nature of this show when I committed to coming here tonight.
Well, again, I truly appreciate you coming down here when you could have been at a Memorial Day barbecue having a kosher burrito.
You probably heard me say I consider myself a kosher tamale.
A kosher burrito is the word I've heard. Actually, I've done some reading about your father. He wasn't an immigrant at all. I read your grandfather was born in Mexico, but your grandmother was not. And then the other side of your family are Russian Jews, kind of like me. I consider myself more Lithuanian than I consider you Mexican on account of the fact my immigrating grandfather came here from Lithuania, and my grandmother was also Lithuanian. And there were, there was Lif on the other side, too, and the Russian on the other side may have also been Lif.
You know, we all come from somewhere.
Yes. So take me, for instance. I was in Oxnard on Saturday, Studio City on Friday, Valencia on Tuesday, Sherman Oaks on Wednesday. Should we go back further?
Mr. Gerber, I have a question for you.
Go right ahead.
Who is this strange man sitting next to me?
Oh, my apologies. That's Dombass, the incompetent employment defense lawyer whose office is in the back of a neuro massage clinic in Tarzana.
Hey, yeah, right, Tarzana.
We've been through this on various shows. Episode 47, for instance, which is fully available on the Karl Gerber with a K channel on YouTube. In fact, if you go to that channel, you can live stream right now. At any high billing rate, Dombass tells opposing counsel he's in Tarzana, so the mail will either never arrive or come a month late, and then he can go in the court, thus billing his clients, and ask for relief on account of not receiving a motion or discovery device on time.
That doesn't sound very nice.
It isn't.
On another note, Mr. Gerber, do you have any plans this summer?
Let's stay focused on RV encampments, days absent from the city, and Dombass's disreputable practices.
Well, I'd like to give the voters an update on the MTA expansion program and teachers' pay.
Oh, go right ahead.
The Purple Line is slated for completion in the 2030s.
Do you think that you'll still be in L.A. by then?
L.A.?
Well, what about teachers' pay? The latest is our property taxes are supposed to be raised instead of the governor just giving the nation's second largest school district in the U.S. the funding they need.
Second largest? I understand, and the Los Angeles metro radio market is the second largest in the nation. How does it make you feel to be in this nation's second largest market and not the first?
Excuse me. For a moment, I have to say something about sponsors. The next 5 minutes and 2 seconds of this show is sponsored by the Helms Foundation. $5 billion in funding and 14 inches of endowment.
The Helms Foundation?
Yes. There's no second place when it comes to Remus Helms's 14 inches of endowment.
I want to let everybody know that this summer we will be having a concert by the Fountain series.
Oh, that's great, but I promised the listeners we'd talk about the O.J. Simpson trial on account of this being talk radio and all.
Well, isn't that a piece of ancient history?
Passé is the word I'd use. You're listening to the Karl Gerber Workplace Lawyer Show. We're talking to the mayor, and I'm hoping that you're going to call me about a real employment case at my office during the week at 877-525-0700, perhaps a wrongful termination case, perhaps a sexual harassment case. 877-525-0700. Once again, 877-525-0700 for a provocative lawyer that does all kinds of things and will turn your case into something different than everyone else's, in a good way, that is. And I hope you are live streaming on the Karl Gerber channel on YouTube. That's Karl with a K. This is generally sketch comedy with a little tinge maybe is the word. Tinge of employment law. We'll be back to talk more of the mayor in just a moment on Talk Radio 790 KBC.
We're gonna be lawyers, money rolling in the bank.
You know, as an employment discrimination lawyer, money is not necessarily rolling in the bank, but I still do it as Karl Gerber, workplace lawyer, a real workplace lawyer on Talk Radio 790 KBC. Live in studio with me tonight on this rainy Sunday is the mayor and Dombass. Dombass is the incompetent employment defense lawyer, kind of an odd person to be sitting next to the mayor. We've talked about miracle pills, and I tried to touch upon the O.J. Simpson trial, but I don't know, the mayor didn't seem that interested.
The last thing you said was passé. I was wondering about that. A lot of times when I turn on talk radio, somebody's interviewing somebody who did something on the O.J. Simpson trial.
I didn't work on that there trial. I was still selling rugs in Queens suitable for the head and townhome floors.
Your Honor, there's something I wanted to ask you about. I heard from one of my guests on one of these episodes of this show that you outlawed the importation of ever-growing Gerber toupees that are actually nylon into Los Angeles. Can you tell us why you did that?
I never did that. That's outside my function.
It doesn't surprise me. We were misinformed given the quality of the guests I've had on this show.
Well, I've got some favorites when it comes to your guests.
Oh, do tell. Who have your favorite guests been?
Okay, on a personal level, I found myself identifying with Father Rishi Yodinsky. Not that I'd ever been in business, run on my own business, but he was quite a mixed heritage.
Father Rishi Yodinsky from episode 49 doesn't have a trace of Indian in him.
Then why does he call himself a Rishi?
Well, why do you call yourself mayor?
Because I am. And before that, I was a councilman.
If you aren't willing to discuss the O.J. Simpson trial, we could discuss the Olympics.
I'm more willing to talk about the O.J. Simpson trial. I was wondering if that was a real trial or just something to make a lot of people famous, like who heard of Kim Kardashian or Karl Douglas before the O.J. Simpson trial?
Precisely. And who had heard of O.J. Simpson before the trial or Kato Kalin?
Yeah, I think you never heard of them before, 'cause those are fake names.
Orenthal is his real name.
Oh, yeah, to his short for, it's Orenthal, I guess.
Your Honor, I apologize on Dumas's behalf.
No need, gentlemen. I suppose a lot of your younger listeners, all those baby boomers, were too young to remember the O.J. Simpson trial.
Oh, back then those baby boomers were still busy trying to get rich after they came up from the underground and went into business selling ice cream and neat hippie ties.
I must confess, Mr. Gerber, we're about the same age, but I grew up in a more socially conservative environment. My father drove around in one of those station wagons with the wood panels on the side, and I played Little League over the park in Encino.
I'm sorry to hear all that, but if your family saved that station wagon, it would be worth all sorts of money now.
Well, this is the rather. It's a rather touchy subject, but you don't believe in conversion.
I would never have made a woman do that. Give up who she is just so she can be who I am? Hell, there isn't a single thing about me my wife likes.
Is, there supposed to be, why you always go so far? Talk about important things like religion, politics.
Dumas, this is talk radio. I'm supposed to be challenging something and offend somebody.
I'd prefer not to offend somebody just for the sake of offending them. I have my political future to think about.
Precisely. Let's get back to that. Since you aren't throwing your hat into the hat and coat check room with 2,000 other Dems, what's next? Governor, senator if Kamala gets elected? Yeah, right. She has 5% support nationwide.
I haven't set any goals at this time. I want to devote all of my efforts to the city for the remainder of my term.
Gee, you've got a lot of work to do, being that you pretty much squandered your first term gallivanting around the world promoting yourself.
Now, I beg your pardon?
Your Honor, this isn't feel-good, lightweight AM talk radio. There isn't anything orthodox about this show.
I have to agree.
We can make this slightly less controversial, at least for about 10 seconds. Since you lived in Encino, allegedly, and graduated high school in 1988, and I should have graduated in 1987, but dropped out to attend college and work at a law firm in 1986, why don't you know Egdon Weebus?
Well, I suppose that we hung in different circles. I was attending a military academy in the area at the time, and you, apparently, went to a public school.
Oh, I understand. I was working hard on becoming a lawyer, a little stand-up comedy, a lot of fiction writing, some Carmen Gia restoration, running a multi-user bulletin board system before anyone heard of the internet. Yes, I suppose we did run in different circles. Did you actually have a paying job or a business back then?
Who is this Egdon Webbis, anyways?
He's been on this show, episode 35, I believe. He's a city planner out there in the Inland Empire.
Strange. I haven't heard of him.
Where have you been? He fired Alexandria Twalia Caesar, who's been in the runoff election for assistant dope waxer at Hellhole Palm since, well, who knows how long.
Can you tell me, where's Hellhole Palms?
And you thought you'd be qualified to run this country. You don't even know where Hellhole Palms is, I think, but I'm not sure. It is a city buried underneath a freeway in San Diego County.
Are you making this stuff up?
Of course I am!
Say what?
We should get back to the psychology behind the O.J. Simpson trial. Compare and contrast results to the rise and fall of the Roman Empire, and then do whatever happened to from that trial.
I know what happened to Kim Kardashian. She's going to law school. Is that possible if she defended O.J.?
I think Johnny Carson defended O.J.
I'm not Johnny Carson.
Johnny Carson? You ain't no Johnny Carson.
Why am I here? Why are the two of you here?
You invited me.
I figured if I came down here, you'd be here. I wanted to pick your brain. Maybe use the conference room at your Oxnard office. I wasn't invited here, no, sir.
This is not turning out very well. I thought I had a serious guest. We'd talk about important issues in Los Angeles, and Dombass had to come. I had to read the Remus Helm sponsorship. The Remus Helm sponsorship. Why is everyone laughing? I'm trying to be serious.
Well, I don't hear anybody laughing.
What a bet.
Where's that coming from?
Our studio audience laugh track.
Hey, excuse me, I may be mistaken, but I don't see a studio audience.
All right, this is the Karl Gerber Workplace Lawyer Show on Talk Radio 790 KBC. I'm here with the mayor and Dombass, the incompetent employment defense lawyer. I would like people with real legal problems of the employment nature, such as a breach of employment contract, maybe age discrimination. I think next week we're going to talk about graceful aging, another big talk radio subject matter, to give me a call at the office at 877-525-0700. Once again, for a serious lawyer, a serious case, employment related, 877-525-0700 at the office, normal business hours. Once again, 877-525-0700 to talk to a real workplace lawyer. When we come back, we're going to find out more about the mayor and Dombass on the Karl Gerber Workplace Lawyer Show, Talk Radio 790 KBC. Yeah, I've got two lawyers here, Karl Gerber and Dombass, who's the incompetent employment defense lawyer. And we also have, Your Honor, the mayor live in studio tonight on the Karl Gerber Workplace Lawyer Show here on Talk Radio 790 KBC.
Yeah, I don't see any studio audience. I don't know what the fuss is about.
A couple of them. Well, the problem is, this show is so lame, our laugh tracks aren't even queued up right.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, you're mistaken, you hear?
Well, I feel like someone's jacked this show. Like, what's going on?
Actually, I have an appearance to make at a Democratic fundraiser. I have to be going.
So the going's getting tough, and you have to be going.
It seems we've covered what we were set out to cover. As for the O.J. Simpson trial, seriously, nobody cares anymore. Nobody cares if you were on that jury, you worked for a lawyer who was a lead trial lawyer in the case. You lost the case, and really, nobody cares if you're O.J. Simpson.
Oh, man. Now let's get down to business. What effects is a tariff increase likely to have on the Los Angeles port? 1 in every 13 jobs are connected to Los Angeles port.
Now that you said it that way, I'll sit down.
1 in the 13 ratio. That means if you line up 13 people there, there will be 100 of them.
The data I'm seeing is far less cargo moved through the port in 2018 than 2017. This means a loss of jobs, a loss of union jobs at the port where union workers are paid for hours they never even worked, at hourly rates higher than the mayor's pay, for work maybe they never even did.
I'm willing to talk about job losses at the port and the economic effects of tariffs, but
what? You're some slick military academy prep school boy from Encino?
Hey.
Mr. Mayor, play hard or don't think about taking on TREX. I bet you don't even think you are man enough to face TREX.
Hey.
Again, I don't appreciate it if you're laughing. I'm trying to run a very serious show here tonight, largely designed to bore the audience to death, cover things that have already been covered millions of times, and overall not say much of anything.
Is that really how you feel?
No.
I heard you were going to talk about miracle drugs. Maybe that's a safe topic.
Oh, yes, medical marijuana. I do believe there should be limits on advertising. There are far too many claims being made about the medicinal value of marijuana. And while we're on the subject, why are there more green crosses than there are ATM machines? And the nerve of these potheads thinking they can turn a perfectly respectable religious symbol into their new age symbolism for let's grow a beard infested with bed bugs and spend all our money on pot.
Well, there are a lot of pot shops in the city of Los Angeles. There are a lot in my city too, but just not as many.
Your city? You're the mayor of Los Angeles.
Yeah, Mayor, he's right. What are you talking about? Not your city. You traitor. I knew it all along. You're an imposter. You're really working for the city of Rome.
Huh?
I don't usually side with Dombass. Well, maybe not the Rome part of the imposter thing, but you just denied being the mayor of the very city you were elected to serve.
Listen, nobody ever elected me the mayor of Los Angeles.
Oh, so let the truth be told. This is sort of like that election in 2000 and the one in 2016. You weren't actually elected by a Democratic majority.
No, I was elected. I received 81.4% of the votes in the re-election election.
Yes, I recall those facts. This was all while you seemed to be absent from Los Angeles.
I do visit my parents here, but I don't live in Los Angeles.
Whoa, election fraud. Hey, Gerber, if I bring a case against this mayor, can I get paid?
Well, this is ridiculous and irresponsible.
It most certainly is.
How can you be the mayor of Los Angeles if you don't live in Los Angeles? Oh, you live in trendy little Echo Park. You're an East Side hipster who used to go to a military academy. I mean prep school in Studio City.
Why do you think I live in Echo Park?
The news, well, maybe the fake news, has repeatedly reported that you live in Echo Park.
You two imbeciles think I'm the mayor of Los Angeles? You can't even fact-check a single guest who ever said I'm the mayor of Los Angeles. I might have a lot in common with the mayor of Los Angeles. Background, at least. Well, but I'm not the mayor of Los Angeles.
But you are a mayor.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, I am a mayor of a city.
Where exactly is it that you're the mayor of? Where are you the mayor over?
I'm the mayor of Simpleton.
Gosh, I thought you were the mayor of Living Island.
Do you really think anybody knows what Living Island is? How is that any better than the O.J. Simpson trial, which transpired more than a quarter of a century ago?
Excuse me, but I thought some of the brightest, most educated, coolest people in Los Angeles, ages 12 to 95, are listening to this show, and they most certainly know who H.R. Puffinstuff is. The nerve of you insulting my listeners. And if, for a minute, they thought you were the mayor of Los Angeles, ha! Ha! Who ever would have thought such a thing?
Yeah, I thought he was supposed to be, Didn't you tell me you had the mayor of Los Angeles appearing and you were worried about old Dombass sticking around talking about his office in the back of Nazuki's new room massage clinic over in Tarzana, right?
Reseda, Dombass!
This is where maybe I should leave and you two gentlemen can sort out whatever misunderstanding there might be.
Not so fast. What exactly does the mayor of Simpleton do?
Don't you know, he's a simpleton. Even old Dombass knows what a simpleton is. They started calling me a simpleton before I could read.
That's not especially impressive. On account of you claiming, Dombass, you couldn't read until you were 20, despite not having a learning disability or anything that should have prevented you from reading.
It was just too many words. All at once there could be 10, 15 words on a single page, and one little page and 10 to 15 words. You ever read 15 words on one single page? Besides, I told you I went to a very rough school in the Bronx. We didn't have no time for reading and all.
This raises far too many questions. We can't keep the mayor of Simpleton around for this debate. Get this! I've read 1,000 words on a page before, and this script here is 300 words or more a page.
No, I never could read all that.
And what have we learned about employment law today? Minimum wage is tied to cities. If you lined up 100 people, 13 of them would be economically dependent on the Port of Los Angeles.
We've also learned all sorts of things about OJ and the Kardashians and the mayor and Los Angeles. Even if that guy over there flipping us off is the mayor of Simpleton, wherever that is.
This is a nightmare. I'm being flipped off by a simpleton.
Yeah, hey, this kind of reminds me of a song. How does it go?
Never been near a university, never took a paper or a learned degree, and some of your friends think it's stupid of me that we can't sing in harmony, but it's nothing that I care about.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know how to tell the way to the sun.
Hey, but you forgot the part that goes like, I can't have been there when brains were handed round.
Please be upstanding for the mayor of Simpleton. This has been the Karl Gerber Workplace Lawyer Show, which bears no resemblance to a singing contest or the mayor of any particular American city or any particular American figure, let alone TREX. All right, people, thanks for listening tonight. You can hear us every Sunday from 7 to 8 on Talk Radio 790 KBC. You can live stream the show on YouTube on the Karl Gerber with a K channel, which more and more people apparently are doing. Or you can listen on the KBC website, which sometimes people do. If you want to talk to me about a real employment problem, you know, a job termination or wages owed, I can be reached at the office at 877-525-0700 if you have a disability discrimination case or you think you were fired because of a political belief. That's 877-525-0700 at the office during the week. I actually don't have law office employees working If they don't want to tomorrow, I will be working. So 877-525-0700 for Real Employment Lawyer. Remember, this show is all fun and jest, and, we just want to entertain people and make some interesting little observations about employment law and sometimes about the things going on in this world and what shouldn't be going on in this world. So listen next Sunday from 7 to 8 on this station to the Karl Gerber Workplace Lawyer Show. I am Karl Gerber, and I am a real workplace lawyer, and have a great Veterans Day or whatever. St. Patrick's Day tomorrow or whatever it is, even if it's raining. Thanks again for listening. This is Talk Radio 790 KBC.